Hi everyone, this is Menz here. I'm going to be playing the Tier 5 American carrier, the Bogue. Um, Now this, I unfortunately wasn't doing any commentary while I was playing. I just have the replay here, so adding my voiceover after the fact. I know most of my videos are kind of as they happen. This is one of those other cases. Now this match, I figured it was pretty important to upload because it just goes to show you, even though I'm one person who complains about the Bogue a lot, um, you can still do a lot in it and still contribute to your team without doing a ton of damage. In this match, I think I ended up doing a little bit over 7,000 damage, but really I got a Clear Sky award, which they did change the requirements for it a few patches ago to where you need to shoot down over 50% of the planes in a match. And in this match, getting that Clear Sky award, I pretty much shut down a lot of the enemy ships, or basically the carriers. And really, in the beginning, I got one huge hit off on the, I'm going to try to pronounce it, Zuiho, the Japanese carrier, and taking out a ton of his dive bombers and torpedo bombers really set the match to allow me to dominate the air. And fortunately, I helped out my team quite a bit. They didn't take a lot of torpedo damage or dive bomber damage. They took a little bit, but in the end, starting out, a lot of times carriers, people will kind of skirt the edges of the map and try to sneak by you. So this is why I'm going to be sending my fighters over on the left here, since if they're coming from the south, they would be spotted by my team. But I kind of found it odd I wasn't seeing a massive amount of the Japanese carriers' planes. So I'm sending my fighters over, kind of still escorting my dive bomber, but also knowing that I'm probably going to end up catching him over on the edge of the map here. Now, it's just something when you're facing a Japanese carrier and American, you really want to be careful because usually they just go for the jugular right away. Alright, so I'm trying to engage their fighters in the center here, but still, all the meanwhile, I know I haven't seen any Japanese torpedo bombers or whatnot, so I'm just trying to be careful because I really don't want to get smacked. So that's why I'm pulling back here instead of engaging his fighter. He's just trying to um, distract me from the fact I'm about to be basically destroyed here. In any event, though, I'm starting to get into the carriers a little bit more. Hopefully, I can push past the Bogue and get to the higher tier American carriers, which is my end goal. Right about here, I'm going to set up the alt attack, fighter squadron run. I still don't know if they're here yet, but I'm about to spot them. And the alt attack here is going to be completely devastating um, on these planes here, as you are about to see. I pretty much take every single one out except for one, which the alt attack led to destroying 12 planes, or 11, 12 or 11 planes just in that one run. And it doesn't use up much ammo, so especially in the lower tiers where not a lot of carrier players are as aware of the alt attack, if they group up their planes like that, you can really turn the tide in your favor. Even if you're in a Japanese carrier compared to American, if you do an alt attack on their fighters, you can really do a number on them and turn the tide in your favor. So right about now, I took down a good chunk of the enemy planes in the entire match, and really just getting that first hit on him and destroying his first wave was huge. Had he gotten through, he probably would have killed me or even the other friendly carrier on our team, and that would have allowed him just to kind of take over the match. But instead of bringing back my planes, still have plenty of ammo. There's no point just with losing one fighter. It's just better for me to keep them out there since he's basically launching his planes right now to go back out. which ended up doing, excuse me here, ended up doing basically 7,400 damage in this match. But as you see, I'm re-recording over this since World of Warships doesn't exactly have a functioning replay system right now. You can use mods to enable it, as well as private training room matches, but as far as that mod goes, I ended up having the mod pack for the replays and also training rooms a couple of patches ago, but I opened it up one day after a patch, after it updated, and I couldn't play at all. It kept crashing. So I just kind of got rid of it for now. In any event, though, in this match, dive bomber wise, as you see, I haven't really done anything as of yet. I was focusing on just helping out my team, preventing them from taking too much damage here. As you see, I'm setting up another alt attack, which, as you see, take them all out really quickly as the expense of 1 ammo, and just keep on going. Now we do have people heading down the 2 and 3 line at us, which is why I called out. Sometimes you get pinged, but it's better to type in chat because it lasts for a little bit longer. And luckily we do get help from this cruiser down here in the south and the destroyer. But you can't complain after the fact if you didn't say anything to try to help your team out, because even like someone like me, I still get really focused in, and I might not notice there's a destroyer heading towards our carriers till it's too late. In any event, though, this cruiser and the destroyer do end up saving us, but this is where I start doing a little bit more with my dive bombers. I can focus a little bit more effort since my ammunition on my fighters is pretty low. I decided to pull them back just to restock here, and I'm going to try to do a little bit to this destroyer. Not exactly sure if I actually hit him, since a lot of the times when it comes to destroyers and even cruisers, I just kind of auto drop on them. I don't try to manual drop since they're really small and sometimes very difficult to hit. But I made sure to change my direction here since he gets fired off some torpedoes. Luckily, though, I could have probably manual dropped there, which I completely missed. But fortunately, this cruiser here, he's not going to get hit by these. Neither am I, since there's not enough range on him. However, the Clear Sky Award that I ended up winning, right now I'm at 28 planes, and that was without bringing my fighters back at all. Now, had I brought them back earlier, that last torpedo and dive bomber run over in the east there, they would have took a lot more damage than they did. And by doing that, basically I killed half the planes that I needed in this match to get the Clear Sky Award without bringing my fighters back at all. And it would have been a lot more different had the enemy Japanese carrier and the American one worked a little bit more in sync with each other. However, even though you're not doing a lot of damage, like I said, I only ended up with 7,438 damage in this match with dive bombers. I still ended up killing 42 planes for that Clear Sky Award, and I think I ended up 4th place in experience, and it's really a lot more useful to your team to focus on that rather than me try to use my dive bombers a little bit more effectively and eke out like 15,000 damage. Really, for each plane you're destroying torpedo bomber, you're potentially saving your team about 10,000 damage. Now, I don't have any guides up as of yet for carrier guides on my website, menzgaming.com, which was a pretty good hit there. I actually ended up manual dropping instead of just auto dropping and focusing on fighters. However, I do have a couple videos up. I'm not the best carrier player in the world, but hopefully I'm going to end up getting a little bit better, which I'm going to try to get this guy here, but his planes were a little bit too close, so I ended up only taking out one. So really that was a little bit of a waste of a run there. Now, Over on Men's Gaming, I do have weak spot guides up. Essentially, I call them armor guides since really World of Warships weak spot guides don't exactly make sense. But for carriers, especially American ones that use dive bombers, there are aerial views on a lot of them, which does kind of show you where you want to kind of generally aim if you are manual dropping, since you can citadel some ships through dive bombers if you're lucky. And also, it kind of helps knowing which ships have stronger deck armor since you're going to do a lot less damage to them. So our team's slowly pulling ahead here, and fortunately I like matches like this where you're not really pressured into doing too much. Even though the Bogue's slow, as you see, full speed down here, 16.5 knots, I'm still trying my best to kind of keep up behind my main force. That way I can keep my dive bombers continually heading out to keep doing damage. Now, their dive bombers here are a lot faster than my fighters. I tried to do a little alt attack run here, which didn't work because they were just out of the attack grid. But a lot of the times, if Japanese bombers are faster than your fighters, or even American and whatnot, sometimes it makes sense to do your fighters in an attack run like that. You might be able to catch them where otherwise you're not going to be able to close the gap and be able to lock them in and do damage. I'm not exactly sure why I ended up going after this cruiser, although looking at it now, I probably ran right past it. But at this point, with only the destroyer, you might as well go after carriers here, which I'm pretty sure I pull off to the right with my dive bomber and go after the Langley, since the Langley is very small, very poorly armored, and its AA is a lot worse than the Japanese carrier. Now, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe on my YouTube channel here. You can also check me out on menzgaming.com for World of Warships guides and useful tidbits. And then there's wattguru.com for World Tanks guides. You can also feel free to support me here on YouTube through fan funding. It's going to be at the end of the video here in the upper right hand corner. And this is, I think, a pretty good hit on this Langley here. Yeah, 3 hits, but only 1 fire, which really a little bit low on the fire, but dive bombers are very good at causing fires now. Which in the next update or so, I don't know when it's coming out, they are adding in several different planes for each nation, so there's going to be a wider choice of bombers and fighters and such for each nation. And also they're going to be reworking AA defense, it looks like, and possibly adding in a couple different dive bomber options. I think they might be adding in the AP option, but who really knows until you get official notes, since a lot of the stuff's just kind of hearsay and speculation. But I really only ended up playing the Bogue for the ARP Congo missions, which really has basically got me back into carriers a little bit, since I had like a streak of 4 good games in the Bogue. I focused less on doing damage with my dive bombers, which before I was a little annoyed you couldn't do a lot of damage, but I average in the past handful of matches I've played in it probably between 8 and 12,000. This one's a little bit on the lower end with 7,400, but really, as you see up there, 42 planes shot down. That's the big thing for your team, which you do get a little bit more experience and credits than before by shooting down planes. It's still not as much as doing straight out damage with torpedo bombers, but it's still a decent award as long as you really focus and do your job. I have seen a lot of Bogues running with strike loadouts, which I do have another replay I might upload of that, of a Bogue running the strike loadout against my air superiority one here, and completely wipe the floor of them. All in all though, pretty decent match. Not a ton of credits, but decent amount. but I got the Clear Sky Award. I hit 5 dive bombers, shot down 42 planes, destroyed 1 ship, and set 3 fires. Experience-wise, a little over 1100 there, 1120, which is 4th most on my team. And as you see, the enemy carrier, he's up there, but still not a ton. But most of my damage came from direct bomb hits there, and I didn't really receive any damage. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel here, and hope to see you guys again at some point. Again, thanks for watching.